Welcome back to Arsenic Culture. I am Matt.
Jason.
I'm Jeff.
We are taking it back to 1982 with the original Kickin' Chicken. For this episode, we are taking it back. We are doing an old dusty here.
Yeah.
And we have this beautiful...
This is like something out of my grandparents' house that's sitting on the shelf.
Probably was.
It's crazy.
Beautiful taxidermied turkey here.
Look how beautiful this little statue.
Bottle.
Is this made in China?
Yeah.
Or America?
So this is an old school decanter.
America.
And this thing is... I mean, this
they
is
were making
fucking...
stuff in China back then.
This is fucking sealed. Like, this is really like...
Look at the detail on this baby.
So these old bottles, honestly, some of the old bottles I've seen, it's like... If they have a seal on it, it's cracked to hell. And this one, I'm getting a little record action
That's
here.
where you pour it out right there with that red
Yes,
paper.
sir.
Yeah.
Like, this seal is like
That's the
pristine.
tack strip.
What a crazy bottle. Decanter.
So, you know, they made these decanters, a little bit about them, because, so this was made in 1982. So this is an 8-year-old, 101 proof. So today, if you buy a Wild Turkey 101, you know, you're probably getting 6 to 8-year-old.
You think
Wild
is it
Turkey.
the same recipe as 101?
Yep, same recipe. So just a little different system, though, because now it's very industrialized.
Right.
But,
Back then, I guess it wouldn't have been.
well, so, you know, I've been on a tour at Wild Turkey, and the person I went with was Jimmy Russell's grandson. So he gave us the tour, and one thing you show, it's very industrialized when you walk in there now, but they have all these things, all these tasters, all these computers, but you know what they can't beat? They can't beat the palates of those guys. So Jimmy Russell, Eddie Russell, those master distillers, all these machines and readouts can tell you this is perfect to flavor profile.
Are you saying machines are inferior to people?
They are. Terminator shit, you know.
Damn.
But anyway, so
Skynet was wrong.
when they go in there, I mean, it's crazy. They spend all this money, and it's a great facility, but their palates, their tasting just tells you this is their profile. So this is before any of that came about, before they
There
sold.
weren't even computers like that back then.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was like a Tandy or something. No, there wasn't.
Wasn't even a
1982.
Commodore
Yeah, I don't think it was a
64.
Commodore 64.
Well, like a supercomputer back then would have been
Well,
like the size
size
of
of
like
your
this
house.
fucking room right now. Right?
If you had your phone, you'd be a
It was
rock
used
star.
for missiles and your taxes, but it was
Yeah.
But it was a giant. It was like the size of a whole house.
Yeah. And then you try to feed bourbon into it, and it's like air.
So what's that you said, Jeff? You said, why is this decanter? Why is this bourbon in a decanter? Is that what you said?
No, I said.
I think that's
That's
what you
exactly
said.
what he
Is that
said.
So let me
Yeah,
tell you
pray
why.
tell.
Let
Why
me tell
is-
you
okay,
why.
that's,
So
that is what I said. Yeah, of course.
in 1982, you could not sell bourbon, so they were having a really hard time selling it. So the popular spirits then were kind of the blended whiskey. So you talk
Seagrams.
like Seagrams, Canadian Club, stuff like that. Maybe even like gin, vodka, whatever.
People
So
didn't drink bourbon.
they didn't drink bourbon at all.
Great
So
stuff was sitting. People didn't drink Cantillon and they didn't drink bourbon.
I don't think it.
I feel like
Cantillon might
vodka
have been.
Oh,
was
there's
actually...
They might have been 82.
There was Cantillon in 82.
Okay.
For sure.
I'm
So-
pretty sure Cantillon wasn't as popular as like vodka.
Correct.
No, I mean like stuff today that we think stuff today is so rare and so great.
Right. Keep going.
In 1982, I was
Beer,
35
by the
years
way,
old.
not bourbon.
No.
Jeff's
Okay.
way online, but go
Were you
ahead,
even
keep
born in 82?
So I feel
were
like...
not Can we
turn this mic off?
Actually, I can.
No.
So, anyways, welcome to the Matt and Jason show.
So the reason
I'm on,
they did
baby.
these decanters though was to give you something like a decoration piece.
Right,
so
right.
this was to help sell the bourbon.
I mean-
we talked about packaging in other shows. This is definitely
It
packaging.
is
right?
kitsch. It is total kitsch.
I also
this
feel
whole
like this
thing.
should have a Bible
And
verse.
it looks like a Bible, doesn't it? And actually, I don't know what it says under. It says "Wild Turkey Love." Is that what it says?
That's all it needs to say. That's all
But
you
there's a
need to
whole.
know.
I don't know what the writing under that part says, but it looks like a
says,
little Bible open.
Give
in
us
front
this day our daily.
of it. Is it really?
Our daily bourbon.
It says predators quickly learn that the wild turkey is an alert, fast, tough opponent. Its weapons are a sharp bill, powerful wings, and spurs and
Serious?
claws that clutch and gouge. So it's for kids. I mean, you think about it. So with these old decanters, some people love them. Some people prefer
love
the
it.
bottle.
I already love it.
If you look at the price tag, so this, buying this
$5.
now, it's $5. But this now would be a lot cheaper buying this one than it would be the bottle. And honestly, the juice, the inside contents is just as good. So,
No, can I ask you 2 questions?
yeah, for sure. You just won.
The first question would be,
no was the answer.
and maybe Jacob knows the answer to this. What
yes,
would be
second
the
answer.
retail price in 1982? And second is how much liquid in terms of milliliters is held inside of this?
That's a damn good question. So we'll start with question 2 first. So this should be a 750 milliliter.
Okay.
So there's probably some evaporation due to the
Right.
cork.
But it was a
there's-
750 starting off.
Sure. And then price wise back then, I'm guessing I'm going to say $25.
I will say that might be 4/5 quart. Look at the bottom.
Okay.
the bottom
Good.
bottom.
I don't want to turn it up.
It could be 4/5 quart.
No, it's 750.
Okay, so it's
it is a
750.
actually it says it, so it's very
What do you
nice.
think it retailed for when it came out?
Probably was like between 25 and 35.
25
Yeah.
bucks. So maybe like the equivalent of $40 today.
40,
Yeah,
50 today.
but
Back
Yeah.
then, you're paying for the bottle.
Sure. And you couldn't give it away.
It probably
I mean, you
felt
think about it.
expensive in 1982 to spend $25 on something like this.
So I remember my grandpa really liked
No?
bourbon and stuff, and I don't think he cared what kind. He just drank.
Right.
So-
He just wanted
so-
to get drunk and
Exactly.
pass out on
No.
the couch
Hey.
forgetting that he was married.
No shit. No shit. But I remember growing up, he had these cars, and then I think he had some wild turkeys. He did have a nice Wildcat collection, like the porcelain UK decanters. I think it's Jim Beam, but they were all empty, of course. But it was beautiful. I mean, just seeing these
right.
like
Oh,
a display
yeah,
case.
yeah.
I mean, that's really
This
nice.
is a collector's item, I'm sure.
It is.
Yeah, but back then you're buying it for the conversation piece.
Yeah.
You're not buying it because like
Oh, yeah.
you know, like a BTAC bottle has secondary value,
Yeah.
so you want to like
Well,
hold
I'm
it.
sure
It's like
there's-
because you want to
there's
say
no
like,
secondary.
hey, this fucking turkey on here is
Yeah.
fucking
People
these,
don't-
you know, this Bible. And
You
I
think in
wanna,
'82
like,
people cared about the quality of the bourbon, or they're just like
No.
you said, they're
No.
saying like, yeah, I
No,
want to buy
no.
that.
Well,
I like
it's-
the statue. I like
no, that's
the-
what he's saying. It's like
Right.
they couldn't sell the bourbon.
Right.
You also talk about the quality of the bourbon, so that's kind of why the tax strip's there, right?
Right.
So this is showing that it's that year, everything's legit, it's sealed, it's good. So we're going to open this shit.
Are we really
and,
gonna open
and
it?
one thing about opening
crazy.
these, it's a little crazy because a lot of times the cork has been there. I mean, what is that? How long has it been in there, Jeff?
Let's see, 1980.
Basic
82.
What year is
82.
this?
This is year 2022.
So that's a 42 years.
No, it's 40, I think.
40?
Right, yeah. That's,
Oh,
your
82. You
math's
said 82,
great.
right? Not
Yeah,
80.
yeah.
I was thinking 1980.
Jeff, you're not a math teacher. Thank God. Thank
I
God.
was thinking 1980.
I love
1980
when we do math questions on
old.
this show. It's always so
So,
fun.
so we're gonna give this a shot. Now, there's a really good chance this is going to break, and we're gonna try to.
All right, do it.
I'm gonna try to get the tack strip off there, and then
big
unscrew.
Notorious for disintegrating.
Yeah, we're gonna. That's not gonna work. So I'm just gonna go ahead and tear it. I'm gonna try one more time on this side. Jeff, quit making me nervous. Oh shit! I just ripped it. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just try to just twist.
Just gonna twist it off.
What are you trying not to do?
So the cork has been there so long; it's notorious
Yeah,
for
I'm
being
sure it
kind of like a
crumbles. It's gonna
dry rot.
crumble,
It's going to
probably.
crumble. So we're going to be careful
It's funny that you twist it. It's like staying intact.
Are you not using a
Well,
corkscrew?
from what you can see. So
Oh,
there's
okay.
underneath.
Yeah, you can see the
Did it
cork.
rip?
is-
Well, it's already like
Yeah.
in there. So now
Surprise,
we're going to
surprise.
try to use that corkscrew in there. You want to get a close up of that one?
Be gentle.
Oh yeah.
Treat it like me.
Gentle.
Be gentle.
The hard part with this one, though, I don't know if I can do it with that because I can't twist.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Yeah, you need the prong ones that go on the sides of it, but I didn't bring it. 'Cause
Oh, it's soft as hell.
yeah.
You're just gonna have a little cork in your glass.
Jeff has that problem a lot.
Well, just because it was between us doesn't mean it was all the time. And I told you to tickle.
So you can really see the
Oh,
pressure.
wow, look
here.
at that cork.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's so
You can
soft.
see
Like,
pieces.
there's no way this is coming out.
So the fear here is that if we're
It's got to fall inside.
Well, I mean, it's not going to hurt you, but we'll just filter it out.
yeah, if he's
It's already through it right now.
Yeah.
we don't want it to just disintegrate and fall into the bourbon.
Well, it's already pushing through. There's no doubt. This is so soft. That cork's gone. Let's see what we can do here.
Jeff, that's so soft.
Well, soft is great.
All right, we're going to try.
That's not what she said.
That's what she said.
Nah, it's not coming out at all.
That's what she said.
Oh god, it looks like a mushroom being like born.
It looks like we should have 2001. When we
seriously,
edit this,
he's
you
just-
should put 2001 music behind this.
Look at that,
You know
he's
what I'm talking about?
He's just gutting it.
There's no way not
it coming
to.
out?
It. I mean, part
Grab
of
that
it.
big chunk right there, closest to you, Matt.
Huh?
Grab that big chunk.
Grab that chunk.
That's about to go in.
I'm trying to like film and do this. I can't get it.
Wow, that's just disintegrating.
gosh. Oh my god.
Folks, don't try this at home.
Yeah, don't try this at home.
I can't get it. I need like tweezers.
It's
Try this
okay.
at Jacob's house.
It's okay.
All right,
There's little pieces
it's okay.
everywhere.
We're fishing cork out of our
A
bourbon.
lot
It's
of
okay.
cork. They don't make corks like they used to.
Yeah, it's all just wet.
I know.
So I'll pass this to our buddy Jacob and see what he can do with that. It's actually pretty cool we capture this on. So this is the problem when you look at old bourbon.
So we're decantering into a jelly jar.
That's a mason jar.
A mason
Jeff.
jar that had jelly in it.
I don't think it had jelly in it.
I don't think it ever had jelly in it.
Had a lot of jelly in it, probably. Oh, that's not. Is that a 750? That's not a 750.
What's evaporation?
Oh yeah. The play-by-play is we have a little bit of cork, but not too much.
Pour on the side there.
Yeah. So I'm thinking just pour some into here and be easier to pour in their glasses.
Oh yeah, but
You
I
know
was
what I'm
just saying. Like,
We have a
what's the
measuring,
total?
a
it's
tiny
great.
Pyrex measuring cup. We're gonna pour it into.
24ish.
Almost 3 cups.
Yeah. Would you like some cork?
Okay, so I gotta say, this is the first. I've never done like measuring cup pours of a bourbon before.
I actually have not seen a measuring
this
cup
is fun.
like that. It's a tiny Pyrex.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you,
like
sir.
that?
I love it.
All right. So back to
Cheers.
cheers,
Cheers,
man.
man. Yeah.
So anybody watching, I mean, these are not easy to come by. So
No.
thanks somebody that might be here that's
Can
not
we-
me, Matt, and Jason.
Can we go into detail
I'm
how
Jason.
this was obtained?
Yeah, we can go a
is
little
it
bit.
legal?
So, I mean, it's legal-ish. So, we talk about secondary market and stuff. And that's how you're going to get this. I mean, you're not going to find these in the store. But it was a good price. We're not going to say what we gave, but very good price. Went in half on this one. It's more than what you'd pay today.
Right.
So it generally, if you talk about worth, though, this is probably between 300 and 600, somewhere between
Today.
there today.
Wow.
If you had the bottle itself, not the decanter, if you had like the Wild Turkey bottle,
Right.
I'd say you're pushing, what do you think, 800?
But this,
5 to 800.
but this was sold because it was taped. This was sold in the decanter.
Yeah. There's
Yeah, of
nothing
course.
wrong with having the decanter. The only thing wrong with having the decanter is that right there.
Right.
You get some of the cork, and it's porcelain. So
Now, how many? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
a big concern when you look at like other decanters, if they're not this one, they could have lead in them. So if they have lead, like there could be lead seeped in, lead
Right. Then
poisoning.
you turn into a superhero.
You could, but here's the thing with that: don't be too scared. Like, as long as you're not drinking 6 ounces a day. I mean, if you have an ounce a week, like you're fine. It's going to be very, very low content, even if it did seep in. But this one did not. So.
If you have enough leaded bourbon to have an ounce a week, then we need to talk about your collection.
we want to hit you up.
Do you think a lot of these bottles, these decanters, were made?
Yeah, I don't know numbers wise, but I mean, I'm assuming quite a bit. I'd say to track that down, it'd probably be nearly impossible to know a number.
I mean, Wild Turkey themselves might have records.
I don't know if they would.
You
They
don't think
might. Maybe. I don't know. So, smell it. What do you get on the nose? So we just had some Four Roses.
I mean, this is 40 years old,
This is 40 years old.
and does it not taste smooth? to you?
Actually, it's older than that.
Yeah.
So don't forget this part. It's
Right.
It's bottled in 82. It's 8-year 101 Wild
Could be
Turkey,
fu-
so it's
this
at
could be
least 74. But back
Almost 50
then,
years old.
back then you couldn't get rid of bourbon, so it might not be 8 years. It might be 12 years.
This might be over 50 years old.
Yep.
What was? do
Would
we
you know this was a 50-year-old bourbon just by drinking it?
I mean that nose. Yeah.
Really?
I mean I would say I would know it's at least 30.
You think so?
I would.
I
know.
do.
I don't
This
think
is-
I would know
If you do you have a Wild Turkey?
because I'm
here?
not that
Do you have
expert.
just a-
I'm not an expert at these things at all, but it tastes pretty smooth. Actually, it's not really.
Yeah. Well, what's the proof on this one?
101. It's
Okay,
kicking
so this is
chicken.
101,
You get
yeah.
that funk. You get that like.
Are you getting funk out of it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Nice
Like you don't taste that.
It's musty.
I get musty. I don't get
Maybe
funk.
musty. Maybe musty.
Yeah.
I don't get funk, but I get.
It's like grandma's basement.
Yeah.
It's like really nice. Like,
So if you can't hear Jacobs in the background, he's saying it's like grandma's basement, kind of musty. And what it takes me back to is growing up, we used to have this store in Jackson, Kentucky. It was called Rose Brothers.
Oh yeah.
And this, you've been there, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to go there.
They knock logs in the road to stop people from getting by.
That's a River Candy, but same thing. So anyway, in Rose Brothers, what they own this old store downtown, and none of the floors were level. They were all uneven. Every time you took a step, it was creaking. I mean, these floors, you think in your mind are going to fall through at any time, but that smell from that old oak like that growing up, I mean, man, it's just this is it.
See,
This is
I would
it.
say more of that than grandma's basement. I would say more of that kind of oaky.
Yeah.
I don't get dust. I don't get like bad dusty smells.
So was your grandma's basement made of marble or something?
Yeah,
What's
it
going on?
depends
Well,
on
we
what
grew up
your
in
grandma's
South Florida,
basement
so
was like.
nobody has a basement. My grandmother's room smelled like mothballs because she had mothballs everywhere.
Yeah, that's
I
my
don't
grandma's
know, were there
basement
that many
was like
moths? I mean, do mothballs really stop moths? I don't understand the whole mothball. And what is a mothball? What is it made of?
I never understood that whole.
What is it made of?
I don't know. It looked like a damn milk dud.
It smells
I don't know.
awful.
Mint. Look
And
at that
who's
mint.
got that many moths? There's a bigger issue to think about if you have moths and how a ball can stop them.
So if you've had wild turkey before, I'm pretty sure all of us have at some point. I mean, can you compare this to it? I can because I'm a fan of wild turkey. But
So how do you compare? Because you know more about this.
so for me, you know, we've had in other episodes we talked about the age, the more in depth and stuff. And what happens to me if you go up with like everybody knows the word pappy. So you talk about different ages. If you go to a pappy 23, which is allegedly the pinnacle, it's overly oaked for me. It's almost like I'm licking a damn barrel, like it's that
Right.
much oak. So this doesn't have that, but it's
No.
depth. It is so much depth, so many layers, and there's not that fusel alcohol. You said
it's
smooth.
not.
Well, think about it. So we've had pours earlier that we said it's a neck pour. So it's the first pour. It's a little hotter on the alcohol content. This has been sitting in that freaking bottle for over 40
Don't say
years.
I don't know why you're so like uptight about
Because the FCC is really getting on us
Somebody's
about
watching.
this.
Somebody's watching me.
Right. Yeah.
Because the FCC don't
There's
care
a lot
about
of
me.
motherfuckers watching, and they're hearing
So
all
with
our
this
damn
one, it's
cuss
been
words.
sitting there. You got a little oxidation. So think of a stout. If you're thinking beer, so a little oxidation. It smooths it out. It takes the alcohol burn out, and all you get's that flavor. So this
Yeah.
is a treat. I mean, this is insane. So, and then look at that color. I mean, that color is just wow. You
Yeah.
know?
The color is so dark and so amber and
Yeah.
rich.
I don't get the opportunity to try a lot of Dusties, being like old, like bourbons that you can't buy anymore. But
And again, if people don't know what Dusties are, it's what Matt said. So it's stuff you can't buy. It's
Right.
stuff that's been out of production or it was made in a time that you can't buy it now. So it's made in the 80s and 90s. You can't buy that on the shelf.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is basically, we're basically drinking from this kind of, this past of American whiskey, American bourbon that just
Yeah.
doesn't exist anymore.
You're
like,
right.
Like when Americans weren't really attuned to it and when bourbon was a cheap kind of alcohol,
Yeah.
it didn't have all the kind of prestige or glory that
For
it does
sure.
have today. So this is really fascinating and interesting to be drinking from something that might have been distilled in the early 70s. That's really cool.
yeah,
I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
some guys'
wild.
I mean,
when you
people,
think about it.
people
Yeah.
had bell bottoms and chops and
I still had those for my beard, and I had
and
chops.
cars that were about 20 feet long, 30 feet long.
Cars with gas that had lead
Right.
in it.
And you got about 10 miles, you got about 8 miles to the gallon on that Pontiac. I mean, and there's only 2 doors, but it was still 30 feet long. I mean, this is really a blast from the past to think about. We're drinking the 70s right
It's
here.
when the smoke was a smoke. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Boys and girls. Right?
No, I'm thinking John Mellencamp. Come on, man.
Oh, I see. I was thinking all the family. You're thinking about John Mellencamp. Yeah. No, but I think like it's really interesting and fascinating to be drinking something that was made in maybe 74 or 72 is crazy.
So if you're watching us and you're seeing us drinking this older wild turkey, be jealous. I'm not gonna lie, but if you want to try this, if you ever want to try it, so if you're, I know other places in the U.S. probably have some, but the nice thing about Kentucky is we passed a law maybe 2 years ago that you can buy from a private collection. So a store, a storefront, a bar could buy from somebody and actually sell a Dusty. So if you go up to northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area, they have a few different bars that actually have these bottles. Maybe not the
Right.
exact one, but you can get these pours. And honestly,
Right
they're-
from the decanter?
well, some are from decanters, some are from bottles. So
At the same time period we're talking about.
even earlier, some of them.
Wow, how much do they get for a pour?
You're getting up there.
No, what do they charge for a pour?
But I haven't priced them in a while. So if you were pricing this in the bar in northern Kentucky, I would say you're looking at 60 an ounce,
Oh, really?
50 to 60 an ounce bar pour.
Okay.
So we each probably had an ounce and a half. So you owe me 75 and you owe Jacob 75. So it'd be fine.
I'll be turning kisses.
Yeah, Jeff's gonna get my portion. So thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
I'll be turning kisses.
Yeah, there you go. Jacob says kiss his ass.
But this is very much a treat. So I'm glad we got to share this one.
Thank
and this
you.
is
Thank you.
Fantastic.
this is a hell of a bourbon. So if you bought this retail back then, I mean, you're probably looking $30. I'd buy millions of
Let's
it.
go. You know what we need to do is make
Yeah.
a time machine
Do you have one?
and go back to the 80s and do 2 things. buy all the bourbon and all the real estate in San Francisco.
Good call.
And we're set.
Good call.
We're set.
Good call. If you were to buy this today, though, you're looking somewhere between $300 and $800, depending on what the bottle is.
Are there still
the
bottles out
quality.
there for sale?
There are, if you want to buy them. So, do you think this will be worth? Let's say $300 to $800. That's a $500 range. Let's say $550. Would you pay $550 for a bottle of this?
No, but I'm not a collector.
Well, I don't think this is a bottle to collect. To me, it's a bottle to enjoy.
Yeah.
I think having that decanter is a collector's item.
I think this is a pour to have once a year. This is a Christmas Day pour.
Great.
I get up, I get this pour. You know what I mean?
And not for your crazy uncle who voted for Trump. He's not getting any.
Yeah, if you got somebody comes to your house and just raid your liquor cabinet and drinks that, that's when you kill them. Right there. I mean, allegedly.
It's when you go out of town.
I'm just saying.
And your kids come over with their friends and they drink the whole thing.
Yeah.
Hey man, let's get this. They fill it back up with water. Fill it back up with water and Coke. You know.
Yeah.
So would you pay, let's say, rough average $550 for a bottle? You say no.
I mean, I'm not that kind of guy, but I think it's worth it if you're really into this and you want to have that blast from the past. I think it would be worth it.
What do you think? If you had the opportunity to say $550, would you buy it?
Fuck no. Honestly, I think this is delicious. I love this too.
You would buy it?
I would not buy it.
No, you
though.
would not.
No, I would not buy it.
So for me, I think this would be worth it. I do. I think this is a pour I enjoy once a year.
I think this is fantastic. I think
You can't
getting
get
into like
this,
these old bottles, this is another tier that like I enjoy bourbon as much as the next guy. I'm not as adept, we talk about like as maybe
I'm
you
not
are.
either.
But like if I was at that level, then yeah. But like a similarly priced bottle that is more current, that I am more familiar with. Okay. I'd be more. We did an episode earlier with the Four Roses.
20 year aged. Yeah,
and I would pay that all day for that one.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
it's different. So again, that one's you look at those are probably 120 proof barrel strength. This is 101.
Right.
Those are 20 years old. This is 8, but it has extra layers of oxidation.
Exactly
being
right.
out,
It's almost like two different worlds, and I can appreciate both. But it's like I'm at this tier of appreciation for like what we are now developing. To go back, I feel like I haven't graduated to that level yet, but
in my mind, and this might be a bad comparison. I compare this to going to a Michelin star restaurant, and I have.
Have you been to a Michelin star?
I have not.
So how do you compare it?
Well, I'm just thinking. No, it's like the holy grail. Like I feel in my mind, it's $300 a plate. You know what I mean? And I'm getting 4 courses, and I don't even know what's coming, but I know it's going to be good.
Like,
I don't like octopus.
Well, then you're in trouble.
Then I'm not eating. I mean, I want a refund.
You don't know octopus.
But for me, I think it's worth it, but I understand why you wouldn't. So, I mean, I get it. But if you want to pour this, hey, seek it out. There's some bottles out there. They're just hard to get.
Did you see the story of the Michelin star restaurant that just got completely like lambasted on Instagram? Happened? Like apparently they got a Michelin star, and this girl that was like a food critic went there, and they gave him like a 21 course meal.
Oh, this is in Italy. You're talking. It's in Italy.
Damn.
And it was terrible. Yeah.
But like one of the courses. This is literally one of the courses. Yeah. It was an orange that they took a slice out, and they said you can eat the. What they say? They said you can eat the fruit that was sliced out, but you can't eat the rest of the fruit because that's not part of the meal. And that was the entree. I mean, that was like one of their courses. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And one was like, it was literally a wax mold of the chef's mouth. And they put like an orange foam in there that you had to suck out of the fucking mouth.
I'm envisioning these vampire teeth that used to get the wax vampire
right,
teeth.
yeah, no, but this was like literally, it was like, I think it was,
this went viral. I forget whether it went viral.
I think it was like, I think it was a female, and they showed her lips, and they had like this like foam coming out, and you had to put these fake lips.
Was there lipstick on it?
Well, they were complaining,
but you had like suck it.
I know it
took
place.
I mean, this is fucking real.
It took place in Italy, is where the restaurant was.
So this is
It's all Italians.
Hey, this is what you're missing out with the Michelin.
I'm good. I'm good.
There are better Michelin.
I like Taco Bell and White Castle. We're good.
There you go.
We're good.
White Castle has 1 Michelin star.
I've heard that.
Fuck, I think they got 2 Michelin stars.
I can't believe you guys ate a White Castle.
I think they have 4 Michelin stars.
I don't understand how someone can.
I think Grey Castle was 1 Michelin star, and they went to White Castle once they got 2.
Okay, you're drinking bourbon that's worth $2,000, and you're eating at White Castle. It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense.
Whatever.
Yeah, you're
I can't
wrong.
wrap my head around it.
Yeah, the moral of the story is Jeff is wrong.
No, the moral story is I'm right.
That's always a moral story.
And Jeff is muted. So welcome back to the show.
It's a lot quieter in here now.
I know, yeah. It's good talking to you, buddy. Yeah.
Why would you? Yeah.